Hello students, welcome to Veranda IAS. From the current affairs of economy, in this session we are going to discuss about the account aggregator system. The learning objectives of this particular session will be to discuss the account aggregator system in banking, then analyze the news related to account aggregator, then we will examine account aggregator's view on aggregate personal data, then further we will discuss consumer choice on data sharing. We will also describe account aggregator framework. So with those learning objectives, let's first of all introduce ourselves to the account aggregator system in the banking. So account aggregator is a kind of an organization authorized by the RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India. Okay, so first point. So what is account aggregator? It is an organization authorized by the Reserve Bank of India. With an NBFC, that is non-banking financial corporation account aggregator, that is non-banking finance corporation account aggregator's license that enables an individual to safely and digitally transmit information from one financial institution to another in the account aggregator network. Okay, so what is it? Simple terms. First, this is an organization recognized by RBI of India, that we agree. Now this will enable an individual. So let's say you have an account in one particular bank, XYZ, ABC, and there is another bank XYZ. Now you have a connection with this bank. Now you want to share the information of this bank with this bank. Now what you do in present times, you specifically will get the bank statements, you get the signs, and you get the notarized copies and all those things, and then you will hand it over to that person. It may be in the print format if they are accepting, or it may be in the hard copies or the soft copies, whichever format they are accepting. But what you have to do, you have to manually take the things from ABC to XYZ bank. Now account aggregator is a system, or we can say it is an intermediary which will work in between. So here the information will go to this place, and from this place it will go to the other place. So that is what account aggregator. Now what it does, it enables an individual to safely and digitally transmit information from one financial institution to another in account aggregator network. So that is the simple definition or simple meaning of this term. So word seems very complicated, but it is simple one. Now why it is required? See here. Consumers in India's financial system face several inconveniences today, such as giving physical signed and scanned copies of bank statements, rushing about to get paper notarized or stamped, or sharing a personal login and password with the third party to provide a financial history. Like for if you have to get the loan or something, you have to do all those things, because these banks are not sharing the information on their own, so that is not the possible at present. So that can be reduced if you have the account aggregator. So the physical copying of physical things in the account systems can be actually be reduced with using this system. Now further, all of this will be replaced by account aggregator network's simple and safe means of accessing and sharing digital data via mobile devices. So all this, whatever informations and all those things that you will be sharing, that which way you're doing physically, now it can be done digitally. So that will be based on this network. So you can do that through this account aggregators network. So it will be simple and the safe, and at the same time you can access it through the mobile devices. This will result in creation of new service choices, such as new types of loans. So it can be like peer-to-peer loans, or some kind of new kind of system can be created. So what at present, whatever the loans they are more like home loan, personal loans, and all those things. But nowadays even there is a concept of peer-to-peer loans, where person can lend to some another person. But when you are lending, you need to have all the information about that person. So that can be done through these type of systems. So new type of services can be created once you have the account aggregator network. The banking industry's first account aggregator system was established with the 8 major banks in India. 4 are now exchanging data with consent. So these are Axis, ICICI, HDFC, and IndusInd Bank. So these are the banks which are now sharing the information through account aggregator. So overall, 8 banks were involved into this. So first account aggregator system involved 8 banks, 4 of them were private, and the 4 of them are sharing the information between themselves using the account aggregator network, and those banks are this Axis, ICICI, HDFC, and IndusInd Bank. Okay, so it is a simple concept. It is an intermediary between 2 banks, okay, where your information from one bank can be sent safely and securely to another bank using this network in a digital form by using even the mobile phones. Now further, why it was in news? So the State Bank of India, ICICI Bank, Axis Bank, IDFC Bank, First Bank, Kotak Mahindra Bank, HDFC Bank, IndusInd Bank, and the Federal Bank joined the account aggregator network on 2nd September 2021, allowing users to effortlessly access and share their financial data. So this is like, it is simplifying the work. As of now, for the loans, like you may have your salary account on let's say State Bank of India, and now you are not you want to get a loan from Kotak Mahindra Bank. Now for that you have to take all the documents, you have to share with Kotak Mahindra and all those things. But now banks can do that with your permissions through this network. So that is a simple thing. Okay, so it is an effortless way to ease the banking process. Fine. So it is a very simple concept. The framework, which has been in the work since 2016 and has been under testing for a while, will now be available to all clients. So that is the significant thing. So that is the news that appeared. So because of that news, we are learning. So this is a new concept. Remember it, in the new concepts in economics are very, very important for the prelims. And prelims UPSC is very, very interested in these type of things. So now you need to know that it is just an intermediary. Further, we'll see the features of and opinions and on this. So let's start with account aggregators view on aggregate personal data. Now see, data is new, that is what all have been saying. So data is very important. Now you don't want to share your data with multiple corporations or multiple peoples in that way. Even it can be an individual, you always think about your privacy first. But in the age that we are living in, and which age we are talking about digital age, where your all of the information can be seen by or accessed by other people if they have the resources. So there has to be some mechanism to protect your data. And when it comes to the financial world, so in financial world, you don't want your bank statement to be seen by someone else. You don't want anyone else to know how you spend your money, right? So if that is the point, so then we have to think about what about the personal data, because here I will be sharing all my, let's say even a bank statement. So my bank statement, if I'm sharing through a digital medium, will it get into hands of someone else? So that has to be seen. So aggregating the personal data, or that was at very individual level. But can it be possible that the company, the intermediary, this is account aggregator system, will it aggregate your data, or will it accumulate your data and then make a profile out of it? Okay, if they make a profile out of it, then they will be knowing your choices, preferences, and the simplest thing we can say, they will start calling us even if we have do not disturb systems. So let's see what it is. So the account aggregators do not view the data. That's the first thing. They will not see your data. They are just intermediary in between. They are just like a courier guy who is delivering the envelope. A courier guy will never open the courier, what is inside it. So it is same way, account aggregators also do not view your data. They just transfer information from one financial institution to another at the direction and agreement of an individual. So if you give them the permission, okay, send my data from SBI to Axis Bank, you are allowed, then they will be sending your data, right? And at the same time, they will not be viewing your data. So if they are not viewing the data, so the first concern is actually, we can say, it is safer in terms of personal data. They do not have ability to aggregate another person's data. So first, they will not see your data. Then second, they will not aggregate. That means they will not accumulate your data. They will not keep keeping books and lobbies of your data. Because you may have multiple applications and multiple forms you may be filling. So they will not keep accessing or keeping stock of those data. So they will not be aggregating your data. They are not like technological businesses that gather and analyze a person's data in order to create a complete profile of that person. This is done by almost every organization right now. So they will get your data, they will or your internet presence, they will ask you to fill the forms, they will ask you to give the feedbacks. So when they give you the feedbacks, like if you go in the malls, there will be some people who will asking, okay, can you give this information? We will give the vouchers. So they are giving the vouchers only because for the reason that data can be sold. And out of that data, your profiles can be created, and from that profile, their business can improve. So, and that is at some levels, it was considered, at initial levels, it was considered okay, fine. But now the age which we are living into, so data, you will not like to share your information with anyone. So they are not like those business groups or businesses that gather, analyze a person's data in order to create a complete profile of that person. Further, the sender encrypts the data that AI aggregator shares, and only the receiver may decipher it. So it is like whatever the WhatsApp says. So on WhatsApp you text, so the message is getting encrypted, and then the receiver at its end will able to decipher this. So other persons are not able to see this. So that is how they WhatsApp even or Facebook even says that we are doing, but we don't know how much they are doing. But here in account aggregator, this will be done. A sender will encrypt once he gets statement. That statement will be encrypted, and there will be system to encrypt that. And then a aggregator, that is account aggregators, will not be able to see that. They will just transfer it to the location, and that person whom it is targeted, he will be able to only decipher that data. So obviously, point is, they have a strict mechanism, or they have, we can say, they have the mechanism to protect our personal data, and at the same time they are not aggregating our personal data. So in a way, in terms of privacy, does this institution or does this organization or does this network seem safe? Yes, it does seem safe. Now further, consumer choice on data sharing. Now further, obviously in the age of data, it should be your choice what amount of data you want to share, right? And for what time you want to share. Whether you want to share it for lifetime, whether you want to share it for 1 hour, 10 hours, 1 day, or months or years. So that depends upon the consumers, and consumers have the right to decide that. So let's see that point, consumers' choice of data sharing. Consumers can register with account aggregator on fully voluntary basis. So that is voluntary, it will not be compulsory. So tomorrow the bank will not say, okay, you have to subscribe for our account aggregator. Okay, that cannot be done. What you have to agree to that. If the subscriber's bank has joined the network, the subscriber can choose to register with account aggregator. So it is their optional choice. It is not compulsorily. Okay. Select which account to link. So again, if there are multiple accounts, then you can decide which account is to be linked and exchange data from one of their accounts with the new lender or financial institution at the permission stage via one of the account aggregators. So they have to take the permission while sharing the information. So they have the choice whether to accept first of all account aggregators system and then the second point is whether to send the information. So they have the choice over here. Now subscriber may deny the consent to share the request at any time. That is another thing. So in initial year, let's say for first few months you decided I will share my data with account aggregator and through that to another bank. Now you decide after 5 months I don't want to share. So that is also okay. So subscriber may opt out of it. If a consumer has consented to share data in recurrent manner over time, example over the loan term. For example, you can share your information over a long period of loan. Like if someone has taken a home loan and home loan is there for 10 years. So for 10 years, you may agree initially that okay, for 10 years I can share the information with you. Then further, the consumer may also cancel the consent at any point in the time. So after you may have agreed to share it for 10 years, but now you wish that you don't want to share it anymore. So that also can be done. So you can remove the consent, and obviously after that your data will not be shared to another bank or another institution. So that's again a good point with regards to data sharing or the personal data. Now what is the account aggregator framework? Now this is what we will see. Now it is a simple one which involves institutions and which institutions are responsible for that. Through an initiative of Financial Stability and Development Council, the Account Aggregator framework was created. So this is Financial Stability and Development Council which is responsible for creating the framework of Account Aggregator, and it was created through an inter-regulatory decision. Inter-regulatory means various organizations or regulatory bodies will be involved, and which are they? By the RBI and other regulators. And what are the other regulators? Including the SEBI, that is Securities and Exchange Board of India. Then we have Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India, IRDA, and then also you have Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority. So these are all the institutions which have been responsible either for creation or for regulations. For creation of that framework, Financial Stability and Development, then for regulatory framework, RBI plus other regulatory agencies including SEBI, IRDA and Pension Regulatory and Development Authority. Plus further, the RBI issues AI licenses and the financial industry will have a large number of them. So basically, if someone wants to create an account aggregator, the license to get the account aggregator will be given by the Reserve Bank of India. So that again, we have a very credible central bank, Reserve Bank of India, which has been proved even when the subprime effect was there in 2008 and all those things. We know that our RBI has a stringent provisions for giving loans or about protecting the money of the investors and all those things. So if the RBI is backing it, so that means it is safe at least to certain extents. And then the most important part, that is of personal data and all those things. Was it addressed? Yes, it was addressed in the account aggregator framework. So to summarize what we have learned account aggregator system in banking. Then we further studied the news related to account aggregator. And then we moved on to study account aggregator's view on aggregating personal data or aggregate personal data. Further, consumers' choice on data sharing. So out of these points, we found out that yes, we have an options, and we can at least claim right now that personal data is safe, at least with them, account aggregators. So, and then we studied the account aggregator framework, where whichever institutions and regulatory bodies were involved that we have seen. So with that, I hope you have understood whatever we have discussed in this particular session. That's it for this session. See you in another one. Thank you.